Good day everybody, I hope you've been well. Something different for today. I'm tired of the whole tarp or a tent setup, and we have long weekends, I've got time on my hands. I decided, why don't I actually try and attempt a little bit of bushcraft. So this is my first shelter, my first attempt. I'll show you guys what it looks like in a moment. Winter hasn't passed it, it's still a bit chilly, cold in the evenings. So this is mainly just for a bit of shelter, isolation. I'll make a fire and try and direct and reflect that heat into the tent, which is not the best thing I really want to do because I'll be using my down sleeping bag, and smoke would probably go into the shelter, into the bag. And to wash a down sleeping bag is a bit of a pain in the backside because you can't just put it in the washing machine and use regular soap. You need like a down specialized soap, but it's all part of the game. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. It's a bit concealed as well. About 100 meters to my right to the east, there's a quarry, and there also is an off-road 4x4 track here on the farm. And two guys with their off-road motorbikes, the scramblers like we call them, went past up and down. They didn't even notice me once. So the concealment idea is quite nice. It's nice in the shade. I don't know what the shelter is really called. I'll just add a name or something into the video. But let me just quickly walk around and show you guys what it looks like. I'm not done as yet. I still need to make the isolation on the inside, clean up a little bit as there's a bit of debris and sticks and so on, and a bit of rocks left from the building on the ground. And this is black wattle. Now black wattle is not the best tree or whatever like you guys have maybe up north or more to the east or the west of the world. As I'll show you guys now in the video, it's not the best for concealment. It's got these small freaking stupid leaves, but I'm going to collect as many as I can and tap, put them up a bit of a concealed bedding, and put the top as well, like I did in my previous video, for the isolation, because the evenings can get quite cold. So the cold is coming up from the ground up, and it can really change how you sleep and the temperature at night. So I want to try and keep that as isolated as possible. Now the shelter is not weatherproof. It will keep some isolation, a bit of wind out, a bit of cold out, especially the frost and the dough in the evenings that goes down. You don't want that, especially on yourself or on your sleeping bag. It's just to prevent that. But is it rainproof? Definitely not. There's still a few holes where you can see there, where the sun goes down, the sun shines in and so on. So it's not completely sealed. I'm not nearly close like to have moss like you guys have in the north, like in the UK and so on, like the guys on the other videos. I have to make do with what we have here in the African bush. So I'll quickly do a walk around, show you guys what it looks like, but far away to see how the concealment is. And there's also a lot of wood around me. These black wattles is actually a pain. It's like a Indian miner just everywhere. But I'm going to use that to my benefit tonight. Make a small fire, but I'm away from rocks. I really don't know where rocks are. Where I did my video, the previous one, it's way more to my north, and I'm not going to carry all those rocks. So I'm going to try and figure out a way. I wanted to do a Dakota firehole pit, but the ground here is totally rock hard, and we've got a lot of granite underneath rock and the soil. So to get that 2 holes for the Dakota firehole is going to be impossible. But I'll definitely finish the shelter. I want to put an extra line here. I don't know if you guys can see well that side or this side, doesn't matter. Either way, to reflect the heat from the fire into the shelter and make it a nice, cozy, warm evening. So let me get into that, and yeah, let me show you guys what this looks like. So what I did was I cut down a black wattle and used it as the main foundation. And I stacked a lot of branches on both sides as like a rib cage, and then added all the black wattle branches on the top. So it's pretty much a type of an A-frame, but also in a diamond shape. Entrance is quite big and wide. I like to make my shelters nice and low for specific reasons. I actually wanted to make this a bit higher for a fire, but it is what it is. So I'll probably just make a fire right here in front. I'll get into that I have some bit of daylight left, and let me just quickly see if I can walk around without too much of camera shake. There's a lot of trees in the way here, as you can see. These are black wattles. They don't really offer the best branches for isolation, and some pretty yellow flowers there. But let's quickly get into this shelter again. Let's walk around. Let's see if we can get nice and wide. So it's got a bit of a concealment and a nice camera effect to it. I'll take a shot now from far and wide. There you go. So as you can see, it's quite nicely isolated. I'm gonna walk around. Oh, almost fell there. There's a lot, you guys, as you can see, there's a lot of branches and sticks and everything lying around, and I've actually fallen twice over all of this because you're concentrating on what you're doing and not looking at where you're walking. So yeah, that's it. And try and hide out, block out the sun. As you can see, in the shade you can barely see it. Yeah, you should be able to notice the camera bag and the camera there and my rucksack. But this is pretty much what it looks like on the side. So from the eye here, you can't really see that much. Let's see from another angle. So from here, you can barely see it. The shade really works wonders. I haven't hidden the camera bag and the tripod, so like I said, but it's really not that bad. Let's walk closer to it, and as you guys can see, the more visible it becomes, but the shade really does quite beautiful wonders. Here we go, and there she is. So you see all this grass, there's lots of it around. You can just dug up all this from the bottom. If you want to, you can use a one-hand foldable pruning saw, quite helps, but instead of cutting all these top grass, just use these bottom ones. You can just collect, it helps using a glove, just collect as many as you can, and you can use that for your isolation in your shelter. And there you can see some nice grass, isolation on the inside. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put my tarp now, and I only ever take out my sleeping bag before I go to bed to keep it clean, dry, all those things. What I'm going to do tonight, because I don't want my sleeping bag to scratch against all these rocks and thingies or whatever, so I'm going to use my army poncho, open it as a bivy bag, put my sleeping bag on the inside, sleep like that to protect my sleeping bag on the outside from all this you see inside the shelter. Just a tip or a hack for you guys, always keep a few of these carabiners handy, because always when you're busy with something and you're not using it at the moment, you can just clip it onto your bag and it doesn't get lost. So it doesn't have to like lay around everywhere on the floor and get lost. So tip 101. This is a feet first in, because there's a bit of a slope. I don't think you guys can see, it's a bit of a slope, so I had to do it with what I had. So this is not the longest shelter in the world, so I will for certainly sleep in the cuddle position, but this main branch or a ledge does help for some grip. But yeah, I am pretty much in, feet there all the way to the point, but let's turn the camera around and see what it looks like from that side. Okay, so I am 5'8", I think that in feet I'm 1.73, so my feet at the end there, I'm lying straight and my head is way at the end of the tarp, which is a 2 by 2 meter tarp. So a little bit, but because the tarp's end is a little bit more down into the corner there, which my feet and the boots don't fit. but you can definitely sleep straight in a bit. But the best position here will be the spooning and the turning position. You have to remove your firearm and the holster. If you want to sleep on your side, tilted, and once again, everything's pushing in me. Alright, firearms and holsters and all those. So yeah, this is going to be a little more. I'm at the end, right here by the top. So this is going to be a little bit open. But if the fire is over here, slightly over there somewhere, not too close but not too far, some of that heat should reflect in here. And if you just turn on your side properly, you should actually sleep quite comfortable. So yeah, let's hope it don't rain, but it won't. It doesn't rain here in the winter. But cozy is not that bad actually. Like as always, that bit of isolation at the bottom, the grass underneath the top, quite helps a lot. And just climbing, because there's a little bit of a breeze, a little bit of a bristle of wind going around, and just being inside here I can feel most of that wind. Well, I can barely feel the wind, so it's actually quite blocked. So yeah, looks like it's going to be, depending on situation conditions, a cozy night. So the sun has gone down on the horizon there. I actually missed the sunset as I was collecting firewood from all these trees and branches, everything around me. But I have quite a bit of enough of firewood. Let me show you guys. So pine cones, wood, and shot at I was planning on making a nice pasta and sauce, cooking, boiling on the fire. But I'm too tired. I've had a long, hard week. I've spent a lot of energy today. I'm not gonna stay up too late. I'm probably not even gonna burn all this firewood. But I'll see how it goes. I did pack sandwiches and orange, so I'm gonna have an orange sandwich energy bar and just freaking relax, man. I'm tired. This is not as easy as it looks on YouTube and all the videos, but it's fun. So see you guys in a bit later. I'm gonna get the fire going, because the fire died when I was busy collecting firewood, but that's fine. That's not an issue. So it's actually a good thing, because you can't leave the fire unattended here in the bush, because if all that grass, everything catches fire, chaos, absolute chaos. So that worked out fine. Nice little setup here. The wind is too strong for the gas stove, for the small propane stove. So boiling water on here for coffee, but yes, for now coffee. And these pine cones burn very nicely. Nice little setup here, it works out fine. Nice space here, put in some firewood. But those high flames you see, there's a pine cone, so doesn't burn very long, but it makes nice flames. Yeah, so this is about, I would reckon, 40 meters away, and you can, it's not a big fire, so you can see a little bit. You see it's the last any kind of daylight left. I can see my hand about all the way stretched out, maybe 30% in front of me. So yeah, it's quite dark, but so I am going to say good night. I'm absolutely tired. There's a little bit of fire going on, but I'm not gonna keep it through the night. I'm just gonna sleep. I'm past tired. It's been a hard day, a rough day. For those of you wondering why I'm still wearing a hat, because I'm constantly walking between trees and crap, and actually covered my eyes and saved my head a few times. But yeah, if I need to record anything during the night, I will. But yeah, I had just had another coffee. I'll cook breakfast or whatever tomorrow morning. I am just really too tired to give a damn. But yeah, it's been a nice day. A little bit of fire left. Gonna sit there or stand just for a few minutes. Enjoy the heat. Off to bed. morning. What a cold night. It was one of the crappiest evenings I've ever had doing this, and I'll tell you a bit later why. Nice and white dough frost on the grass. Sun is coming up there at the back. I don't think you can see it yet through the trees, but I was awoken with coffee and a fire. But quickly have a coffee, some biscuits, warm up. It's actually colder outside than it was in the sleeping bag. My hands are freezing. But I'm gonna speak about the shelter thing in a moment. I learned 3 valuable lessons last night, and I'll tell you about it in a second. So fire is pretty much out, all cleaned up. We're going to just cover the fire with sand to prevent fires, leave the shelter here in case one of the locals or whoever wants to come and camp. To do this is not very economical or very common sense. In a survival situation, you want to be as quick as possible, put up a shelter as quick as possible, pack up as quick as possible. This takes time. This is not really a relevant thing to do in a situation where you need to be concealed as quick as possible, bug out. It's quicker to put up your tarp, something like that. This takes time, energy, and it also quite leaves a trace for someone else to see where you were. What I've learned with this was the shelter needs to be about at least 1.5 of your body length, because my head was just at the end of the shelter there, and I could feel a little bit of down frost going down, and my sleeping bag, especially the hoodie part, got a little bit damp. Also, it needs to be about chest to chin height, because crawling in and up there, removing your boots, coming into the sleeping bag, absolute nuisance. And also wide, so you can turn. So this is actually the size shelter for a toddler. So for a full-grown man, this size, very relevant. So I've learned that, and yeah, and also the opening, the wind and so on can still come in. So from a personal experience last night, bug out situation, no, it's not the best. If you want to do this for say a week, yeah, then it will work. But it's been a very experienced night. I will not do this again just for the fun of it. It's too much work, too much of a hassle. This works maybe in the woods up north to the west, but here in South African bush, it's not relevant. But that's how we learn our lessons, isn't it? So I'd just like to say thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful in a way. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Keep well, God bless. See you later. Bye bye.